hit it. You are listening to Bras, Panties and Sports. NFL free agency heated up and has been wild and woolly. I'm Spitface. Please welcome my host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith. She done had her eyeballs everywhere on the NCAA, the NFL free agency, the happenings in the NBA. I don't know when the woman got some rest, but it won't be on the show.
Good morning. Yes, I mean, sports is really popping right now. That is for sure.
All right. Well, this week on Shout Out, we have performances from, St. Patty's Day is around the corner. And growing up in Chicago, we got to have some corned beef and cabbage and some green beer. Now, I don't know where I'm going to get that from in Houston, but that's the tradition. So, and since First Lady grew up out east, she knows, because all those Irish folks is out east, too. So, this week on Shout Out, we have performances from Clark Ford featuring Underground Treehouse. That's a hell of a name. You're Underground Treehouse. You ain't even the bug. You know what? How can you be a treehouse? But that's a whole different discussion. Where they find their shining star, get the cold chill. We find out why they underground. Where they find their shining star, get the cold feel of the view. But First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world, not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as the NFL free agents wish they could fly far away from the land of the milk and honey, which could mean a different team or new money with their current team. Did Sam Darnold make out like a fat rat with a $100 million 3-year deal? Was he the most overpaid player in free agency? Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson are still available. Will they be playing next season, and for whom? Is the biggest surprise of free agency Geno Smith being traded to the Raiders? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, rest in peace, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Well, I'll tell you something, Spitface. The NFL free agent was like the movie Fast and Furious. It went fast and it was furious. Now, did Sam Darnold make out like a fat rat? Absolutely no, he did not make out like a fat rat. He's only making $33 million per year, and only $55 million was guaranteed. Sam Darnold's salary is the going rate for players that were on the brink of being out of the league, but had a monstrous comeback, monstrous comeback. He had a major comeback. He played his behind off last season, similar to what Baker Mayfield did. If you remember, Baker Mayfield was almost out of the NFL. Then he played for Tampa Bay and did well. And he did well with San Francisco. So guess what? They both have the same contract, very comparable. It was $100 million, $33 million per year. So that's what they did, and I don't think it's it's overpaying them. I really don't. It's not overpaying, especially when Dak Prescott is making $60 million per year. That just tells you where their salary is. It's a middle-to-road type of salary. Darnold now is the 17th ranked quarterback in terms of salary. So he wasn't overpaid. I think he was paid appropriately. All right, the two quarterbacks. The two quarterbacks. You mean the two dinosaurs, Rodgers and Wilson? Will they be playing next season? Well, let's just say they are doing their due diligence to see which team they will be on. Personally, I think Aaron Rodgers will be the first to receive a contract because, he's the one who has to make the decision which team he's going to choose. He's been talking to the Steelers. He's been talking to the Giants. I think Russell Wilson has been talking to the Steelers. He's been talking to the Giants. So whatever Rodgers decides, if he decides he's going to go with the Steelers, guess where Russell is going to? Russell is going to go with the Giants. It's sad to say, but that's where they are in the career. It's sad to say that, that these two, and they are dinosaurs. They are, they still can play. But I look at it, to me, there's other quarterbacks that are still free agents. Personally, Jameis Winston is available. And I personally think Jameis Winston, to me, is better than, at this stage of the game, Jameis Winston is better than Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. That's how I feel about it. Now, we all know Jameis Winston has a knack for throwing the ball to the other team. I mean, maybe this will be the year that he can cut down his interceptions, He scored just as much for the team he's on as just as much for the team he's playing against. I mean, that has been a problem that has sidelined him his entire career. But at least he can throw that rock. He can throw the ball. I think he can move around more than Rodgers and Wilson. So that's why I'm thinking I would sign Jameis Winston. I would. And he could be a bridge quarterback for a team. And, there's Trey Lance is still out there. I don't think we ever really got to see what Trey Lance can do, to be honest with you. Drew Luck, we know what Drew Luck can do. I mean, he's a backup quarterback. Joe Flacco, well, he's a super dinosaur, but Joe Flacco can get it done. He got it done for what? Didn't he get it done for the Indiana Colts when they went to the playoff with Joe Flacco? I believe they did. Teddy Bridgewater is still out there. Teddy Bridgewater, he was teaching high school when high school was over with. He was a football coach for his hometown. I think it was Northwestern. When they finished, he joined I forgot which team he joined, but he came back and joined the team. So he was playing at the end of the season. And, of course, there's Carson Wentz out there. I mean, I don't know about Carson Wentz. I think his career is kind of over. But those are a few names that are out there besides Jameis Winston. But to me, Jameis Winston is the cream of the crop, and that includes Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. But that's the way I feel. Now, free agency trades, there were some shocking ones, but yes, that Geno Smith one was shocking. I was surprised. But then, really, should I have been surprised that Geno Smith was traded? Because, to be honest with you, Pete Carroll loved him some Geno Smith. That's the reason why he traded for him and for the Raiders. So, obviously, the Seattle organization, they had a heads up. They must have knew that they were going to sign Sam Darnold. So, that's the reason why they said they don't need Geno Smith. And the new coach that played, the new coach that was on the team, Mike McDonald, he did see a year of Geno Smith, and he said, I guess I'll take Sam Darnold over Geno Smith. So that's the reason why that trade went down. But, Pete Carroll wanted him. So he probably was the only one in the Seattle organization that wanted Geno Smith. Geno Smith is another one who really came back from almost being out of the league to where he is now. So he works well with Pete Carroll. So let him go over to the Raiders, and the Seattle Seahawks, they have Sam Darnold. So, Spitface, this has been a very interesting free agency. There's still some very high caliber wide receivers that are still on the board. Did you know that? I mean, Amari Cooper is there. Who would have thought that? Stephon Diggs is still there. Of course, he's coming back from a major knee injury, so maybe that's why he's still on the board. So, but there's still some high-ranking people still out there for teams to get. Maybe they're asking a little bit too much. But anyway, the free agency will continue on. All right, Spitface, what are you talking about?
First Lady, first off, when you were talking about the dinosaurs, it made me go back to singing Barney songs. That's how much the dinosaur Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson are, and both of them now. I know you said that Aaron, either the Steelers or the Giants, but he may come do a full Brett Favre, the Jets and then to Minnesota. So it could be that same circle, but we shall see. And I'm, looking at it, one, Russell, he can play, but he's not a top-tier quarterback anymore. He just ain't. And, he can throw the ball well, but nothing exceptional. That, the as the song say, the thrill is gone, Russ. And someone may, and bringing him to your organization is overpaying him, because at this point he's just not the guy. And unless you got a great offensive line, what you're looking at is he's not going to take the sack, but you're getting a lot of the ball being thrown out of bounds, and you're getting a lot of no mobility, and it's just not there. So I'm with you, First Lady. The better option will be having at least a Jameis Winston. Okay, you gotta, because you never know. He does have skills, talent, and could be the year that he finally learns to throw the ball away a little bit like Russ, and not give it to the other team. So that would be the better check. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, it's sort of like with Tom Brady. Each year you're going, he's going to hit the wall. He's going to hit the wall. Well, Aaron Rodgers has actually hit the wall. It's just that he's had a lot left in the tank and come on strong. But it's inevitable. He's going to have a certain injury, and it doesn't have to be anything catastrophic, but it's going to take him out. And that's going to disrupt the rhythm of your team. And, hey, that wall is still lurking there, the next wall. And I'm like, at this point, sit both of them down. And, just sit both of them down. And Pittsburgh, you might have to work that strategy of, we don't like having a losing season, but maybe we need a losing season so that we can get a higher draft pick or be able to roll with something and get something, and maybe in the 2026 draft, get us a quarterback and quit messing around. So some kind of deal, something's got to get worked out. But leave Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. Just leave him alone. Leave him alone. Now, Sam Darnold made out like a fat rat because he had one good season and was because, like you said, his butt was almost out of the NFL. So he lucked up and made some money on a Seattle team that gave away all their weapons. So good luck with that, Sam. But I won't say he was overpaid from the sense of was he overpaid player. No, First Lady, I agree with you. He got about what he was going to get. And but I'm like, I'm scratching my head that Minnesota didn't work out something so that he can be that bridge, because they got an upcoming quarterback. So, hey, I'm still surprised Geno went to the Raiders, and probably for me, that and Sam Darnold were the two bits. That was it. That's all I'm saying, First Lady. Did First Lady's new equipment get her muted?
You can't hear. Let's see. Am I muted?
I hear
Can
you
hear
now.
me? Okay, I'm sorry about that. You hearing me now? All right. I was saying, Geno to the Raiders was shocking, but I'm not surprised that Minnesota did not re-sign Sam Darnold because they had J.J. McCarthy, and they know that he is their quarterback of the future. And keep in mind, he had the injury, so they know where he is in his rehabilitation, so his rehab. So they know where he is. So they obviously felt strong that he was going to be able to play this year. So I think, they made the right decision, because if you're going to keep Sam Darnold, you expect him to play the entire year. You're not going to pay him a lot of money just to play a portion of the year. So I think that was a smart move on their part. So we shall see. All right, Spitface, over to you.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my tears and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition, I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that are all get sliced and diced. Competition, paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch and maybe the end of Tiger Woods' professional career, from his latest injury requiring surgery to his Achilles. For the past few years, the story has been Tiger and injuries. Is it time for him to hang up the clubs? Has Tiger's image as Tiger been diminished by injuries and fading memories of glory? Where will Tiger go down in the annals of golf history? Was he the greatest? Leroy Satchel Paige, Walter Buck Leonard, and James Cool Papa Bell are asking, what you saying? First lady. I'm just, one thing, I'm saying, one thing I look at is that Tiger Woods has become irrelevant. And he's not inspiring any fans, at all. And there was a little bit of period, and it's been a while, where Tiger's back, and and he won another green jacket, but that's been a while. And now it's like in these sports, it's a younger person's game. And I kind of think that we're at the point where we don't even need any more news stories about Tiger Woods. We don't need to hear about him playing, maybe going to play, do whatever. Look, he's gone. That Tiger was an era ago. That Tiger feels like it was back when Michael Jordan was winning championships with the Bulls. And right now, everything, right now, how this is shaping up for the end of Tiger's career, all it's doing is diminishing his greatness and diminishing his accomplishments. That's all. Because instead of remembering him for his achievements, it's like, oh yeah, that was that guy who used to, and now, it's kind of, crumpled over. So he will go into the annals of golf history as one of the greatest, but he needed a couple of more wins to break the record, and that would have been the cherry on top to have him as the greatest. First lady, what you saying about your boy Tiger Woods? Is it over?
Oh my goodness! You can hear me now again. I just want to make sure you got new equipment. Tiger's career. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, I just want to be sure because I got to talk about my booth. All right. Tiger's career has been up and down from 2009 when his personal life spiraled out of control with the womanizing, addiction to pain medication. We know all the situation. He fell to the depths of being on the bottom. After this, he made a miraculously comeback to win the Masters tournament in 2009. It was the first major in 11 years. He was actually 43 years old when he won that tournament. No one expected him to win. Then after that, all of his personal redemption, the Master, when he was a near-death accident 2 years later in 2021. He almost had his leg amputated. He hasn't won a tournament since then, but he did have his best performance at the Genesis Invitational in February 2023. Believe it or not, he tied for 45th place. Now, we all know being 45th place is not great, but consider where Tiger was. That was quite well because prior to that, he was missing cuts on multiple tournaments. So, my boo is still, though, one of the greatest golfers of all time. I mean, he is kind of irrelevant now. He's more, when it comes to playing golf, he's more relevant when it comes to the business of golf versus playing golf, with all these different tournaments and what's going on. That's where Tiger now is really known for. To me, though, when you're talking about the greatest of all time, the GOAT, Tiger Woods versus Jack Nicklaus is like LeBron versus Michael Jordan. I think Tiger is like he was feared by a lot of those players, the golfers, like Michael Jordan was feared by a lot of players. That's how Tiger was. I think Tiger still will be respected and will be considered, to me, one of the greatest, like 1, 2, something like that. Like I said, similar to Michael and LeBron. So, but I still think, he is the greatest. And even though he's had all of these major setbacks, he still has a chance. He made to tie Nicholas. I don't think he's going to make it. Years ago we had talked about this before. I think he was 4 away, and I mean, surprising that he had won the Masters. So it's possible. I think it's possible. But I mean, I see Tiger eventually, obviously, going on the senior circuit. I don't know. You see Tiger on the senior circuit? Yeah, I do see him on the senior circuit. But he still wants to do the regular circuit. But Tiger is Tiger. But I have to say something to my boo. Take this to heart. Please, just follow Jamie Foxx's, he did a Netflix special, and Jamie Foxx said something that I think Tiger needs to take to heart, because it's been rumored, just heard about this rumor, that Tiger is now dating Donald Trump's ex-wife, Vanessa Trump. Tiger, you don't want to go do that. You don't want to be part of any Trump universe, okay? And for those who know what I ain't going to say it. I'm not going to say it, but Jamie Foxx said it on his Netflix stand-up, and he used to be like Tiger. So that's all I'm going to say, Spitface. I'm going to leave it at that.
Sometimes you need to leave stuff alone. Okay, First Lady, you have the last word. Please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, we have a performance from Clark Ford featuring Underground Treehouse on Shout Out Part 1.
Oh, Tiger. Welcome back. The music flows in from around the globe. We get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Clark Ford featuring Underground Treehouse.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. On first part of Shout Out, we are featuring music from Clark Ford featuring Underground Treehouse out of Ames, Iowa, from his hit album, I'm Looking at You. They say Clark Ford is an award-winning songwriter from California living in Iowa. He writes songs in several genres, including pop, country, rock, sacred, jazz, and blues. All right, DJ, let's hear the track from his hit album, Unconditionally.
You don't have to tell me you love me, but I wish you would. You don't have to buy expensive things for me. You don't have to go shopping with me or watch chick flicks with me. You don't have to spend all your free time with me, because I love you unconditionally. Well, I don't ask you to do anything for me, but I won't let you walk all over me. And even though I love you unconditionally, I still wanna be in love just for me. You don't have to call me, but I wish you would. You don't have to make excuses for where you've been. You don't have to put up with my moods. Tell me I'm looking good. You don't always have to agree with me, because I love you unconditionally. I'm gonna be here for you, not because I'm desperate. I'm gonna be here for you, not because I think you're hot. I'm gonna be here for you, not because I want something, but because I love you unconditionally. Well, I don't ask you to do anything for me, but I won't let you walk all over me. And even though I love you unconditionally, I still wanna be in love just for me. I want someone who gets me and wants to be with me. I want someone who cares about me. I want someone to be my best friend, to love me to the end, not because I love them, but because they love me unconditionally. I want someone who listens to me and talks to me. I want someone to go dancing with me. I want someone to think of me first, be there through the worst, not because I'm there for them, but because they love me unconditionally. Well, I don't ask you to do anything for me, but I won't let you walk all over me. And even though I love you unconditionally, I still wanna be loved just for me. I wanna be loved, loved unconditionally, the way I love you unconditionally. And I do love you unconditionally.
Spitface, is Unconditionally getting a shout out, or you're gonna hit the mute button?
I kind of like Unconditionally. Sometimes it's nice to have something with no conditions. I'm giving it a shout out.
All right. Yeah, I want to shout it out, too. I thought it was great. Now, obviously, Clark is the writer of the song, because obviously a female was singing the song, and I thought her voice was really good. And the words of the song are excellent, too. So, yeah, he is a great songwriter, but I would like to know who the singer is. I said that, I guess that's the Underground Treehouse, the group called the Underground Treehouse. They got a good, strong lead singer there. But anyway, I'm definitely shouting it out. On part 2 of Shout Out, we're featuring another performance from Clark Ford featuring the Underground Treehouse. Is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
a flip it while hosts defend the point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. Recently, LeBron James had a few choice words for Stephen A. Smith of ESPN. LeBron said, "Keep my son's name out your mouth." Should Stephen A. stop commenting about the young player or treat him like anyone else? Our panel, defend. Stephen A. should do as LeBron stated. There are plenty of real sports topics to talk about. First Lady, now I know First Lady is a Stephen A. fan, and there are many Stephen A. fans out there. Now I'm not a Stephen A. fan, and it's more a matter of style. I'm not particularly into his style, but he all right. I ain't hating on him, but sometimes you have to look at a situation for what it is, and get that. This is not something that I really need to bring up. It's nepotism in the NBA, nepotism in sports, nepotism in business. Nepotism happens. And given the nature of sports, if there is some nepotism, it is not necessarily detrimental, especially if it inspires your star player. And LeBron having his son on the team inspires him. And given that he is the man on that team, and it doesn't really cost the Lakers anything to appease the king, hey, it ain't no big deal. It really it's nothing to be harping on about. Now, if it had some serious impact, then that would be a different thing. Like a coach who happened to have his son as a player on the team when other players might have been better. Now that's a whole different scenario, and that is not the scenario that is happening on the Lakers with LeBron and his son. And there's an opportunity for history. There's an opportunity for history, and in sports, it's always good business to make a little history, and the history not be negative. Now, nepotism, when it comes to our government, now that's a whole different matter. That we don't need. First Lady, defend. Stephen A. should shut up on this now.
Well, Stephen A. Smith, yes, I'm a big-time Stephen A. Smith fan. I watch First Take every morning. If I'm watching, I'm reporting it. And Stephen A. has been known for going after black athletes. You remember he mercifully denigrated Kwame Brown to the point it was so sinful of Stephen A. the way he used to talk about Kwame Brown so much. He has with these black athletes, they have a problem with Stephen A. Smith because they say Stephen A. Smith should always, talk about black athletes in a better light than he normally does, but that's just how it is. And the thing is with this conversation with Stephen A. and LeBron James, I actually happened to watch the show today that Stephen A. was talking about LeBron and his son. He really didn't say anything negatively about Bronny James, and he hasn't said anything negatively really about Bronny James. What he said was LeBron. Now, he questioned LeBron as a father. Now, was he right for doing that? Obviously not. You don't ever question a black man about his ability to be a father, because we know how much the media and society alone does that. They always put black men as a negative in a negative light when it comes to fatherhood. And this is where Stephen A. really missed this whole situation. He needed to not discuss LeBron as a father. And I think that was the main issue that LeBron had. So was LeBron right for checking him? Yes, he was right for checking Stephen A. Smith. Now, should he have done it the way he did it? Maybe not, but that's the way it is. But LeBron was right. Don't come after me as a father to my son. And that's the whole point of the situation. So, yeah, Stephen A. does need to shut up.
All right. Now, this is a flip this, so we had to flip the script. And let's do that. Defend. LeBron might be the king of the court, but he ain't the king of the media and sports writers. If his son is playing a grown man's game, he should be able to take the heat or criticism from the press. And that goes both ways. LeBron, you have been playing for a long time. You've been in the media forever. And you are going to get hit with pot shots. And sometimes that pot shot is going to come from a Stephen A. Smith or someone else. And they're gonna say what they say. And you have the right to, at least in this country for now, you got the right to disagree, to speak back out. But you can't tell a member of the press. Well, you can say the words because you can say anything, but you can't tell the man that a member of the press not say what they say, not report the way they report. And even if it's something that, let's say, crosses the bounds of decorum, that's just kind of how it goes. But also, look, we know that you are media savvy. We know LeBron is media savvy. And LeBron knew that when he went over there and said what he said to Stephen A., that was just going to add fuel to the fire, which, as Michael Jackson used to say, as long as I'm in the news, as long as I'm in the news. So LeBron knew saying something to Stephen A. was not going to keep Stephen A. from doing or saying anything. If anything, it was going to add more to it. So I'm going, LeBron, you part of the media too. You know your media game, and I'm not sure there was some real, legitimate anything going on other than another opportunity to do a little entertainment to spice us on up. It's like the rappers going up against, like that. No. So, LeBron, you got your feelings, you got your son, you're a great father, and you know that, and we know that you're not worried about what Stephen A. is saying, and Stephen A. Got a right to say it. First Lady, defend.
Well, LeBron James is really being passive aggressive right now. He's being passive aggressive because, as far as I'm concerned, he could have contacted Stephen A. Smith. Like Stephen A. Smith says, his agent calls him quite frequently. He knows Maverick Carter. They all have his telephone number. LeBron, his agent, Rich Paul, has actually literally talked to Stephen A. or text Stephen A. while he's doing the show. Every time they have that conversation about the GOAT, LeBron versus Michael Jordan, Rich Paul always texts Stephen A. to try to make his point that LeBron is the GOAT. But the thing is, he didn't do that. He waited until he got to the game, waited until Stephen A. was among his agent. He had just signed the contract that he's $100 million man himself, making $20 million a year, and LeBron going to come up in his face. So you know what? I didn't like the way LeBron handled that. LeBron, like I said, that's being passive aggressive. Now, the situation, what Stephen A. said was 100% correct. And the reason why it was 100% correct is because LeBron James was the one who put his son out there on Front Street. I don't have the exact quote with me in front of me right now, but I did see that quote. I remember that LeBron said before LeBron James Jr. came into the league that he was better than some of these players. He's talking about NBA players. He said his son, I believe he said his son was, I could have sworn he said better than half, but I'm going to find that quote. I couldn't find it when I wanted to find it. But he said his son was better than some other players in the NBA. Well, fast forward He's in the NBA, and he sucks. That's the best way for me to say that. He's not better than some of these players in the NBA, and he has been given the silver spoon. Why is he sitting on the bench with the Lakers? He should be in the G League. It got to the point that they didn't even want him to travel with the G League team. Now, you sitting up here creating all of these different scenarios for your son, yet nobody can talk about it. That doesn't make any sense, LeBron. Your son is an NBA player. He is fair game. So you can't have anybody talking about your son. Your son is not the first NBA son of an NBA player to be in the NBA. There's been many of them to be in the NBA. Your great good friend, D. Wade, never talked about his son. His son played in the G League. Now his son is not even in the NBA. His son is playing. I think he used to play for Africa. I don't know where Zaire is playing now. We know Melo, who is your number one compadre. His son, who is a hell of a lot better than your son, is going to Syracuse, and you watch. When he comes in the league, he's going to ball out too, but you don't see Melo saying that he deserves to be in the NBA. So you're the one who put your son out there. And you know what? Maybe you thought your son was better than what you said, but, I mean, come on. He hasn't even lived up to even a portion of what you said. He's not that good. So you have to understand, he is able to critique. You can't get on Stephen A. And Stephen A. actually has never said anything negatively about your son. It was you that he was talking about. You know, so I don't understand why LeBron is feeling that way, that now all of a sudden you can't talk about LeBron James' son. You know what? Let your son grow up. Because guess what? When you leave the game, LeBron, from the Lakers, I guarantee you, like Charles Barkley says it, he will be off of the Lakers. That's all.
They can retire together. All right, First Lady, over to you for more Flip It.
Kawhi Leonard and Draymond Green are getting closer to hanging up the sneakers. Which one has a better shot at being in the Hall of Fame during their first year of eligibility? Spitface defends the Kawhi was the better shot.
First Lady, as they say, guys who put the ball in the hole, so to speak, just tend to have an edge when it comes to being elected to the Hall of Fame. And that's just kind of how it, the guys who do the scoring, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, if you the guy doing the scoring, you get the glory. That Draymond, a bad guy, and he is going to be in the Hall of Fame. But I got to get an edge to the guy who scores the shots, and that is definitely Kawhi. And you go from team to team winning championships, and you were the primary person. Well, that in itself gives you some standout props. So, I would just say that now Draymond, he is. He is a Hall of Fame player. And Kawhi is a Hall of Fame player, but when it comes down to who gets selected first, usually, as I've already said, the guy who's scoring the points will be there, and probably the closest to a guarantee was as far as a defender. Was Dennis Rodman. You knew Dennis Rodman was going the first in. Draymond, but. And then, sometimes, fortunately for Draymond, sometimes there's a little, some that be going on, a little hating that be going on that some of the voters may just want to make him wait around. So, the edge goes to Kawhi. the edge goes to Kawhi. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
All right. Well, yeah, I hear you, Spitface. The edge goes to Kawhi. Well, I think, Spitface, Kawhi has a better chance. Let me tell you why. The main reason is that he's a much better player than Draymond Green. That's the number one reason. Let's just face it. He is a better player than Draymond. Draymond is basically a defensive player, and that's pretty much what he is. Even though he is a playmaker, he was a playmaker for the Golden State Warriors, but he's known for being a defensive player. We'll get into that later on the flip it part of it. But Kawhi Leonard, let's say this. He's been finals MVP 2 times, 2014, 2019. Like you said, he did it with 2 different teams. He won titles with 2 different teams. He did it. 2014 was with the Spurs, and 2019 he was with the Toronto Raptors. He's been Defensive Player of the Year, 2016, 2015. He's been All-NBA Player, 2017, 2019, 2021. And so he has the individual awards. He's been all defensive team several times, 2021, 2019, 2017. So, like you said, Draymond only did it defensively. Kawhi could do it offensively and defensively, and he's a two-way player. You know, there's not that many two-way players in the league. Not that many, not that many at all. And Kawhi definitely is one. That's why, he is a great player. Now he struggled with injuries over the years. Unfortunately, that's what's happened to Kawhi. But as far as getting into the most valuable Hall of Fame, he's a shoo-in, first ballot, no question whatsoever. It's not even a comparison between him and Draymond Green. Not even a comparison. However, Spitface, this is Flip It. Draymond Green has dominated at his position. He has the better chance. All right, Spitface, defend. There's an old saying, it don't mean a thing without that red. And Draymond has 4. Kawhi has 2. and a pivotal player in those 4 championships. And that to me is what gives Draymond just a bit of an edge over Kawhi, who, let's face it, has been fantastic. But when it comes down to that voting, Kawhi he has had a great career, but those injuries in the season, they kind of touch the mind. Like, as far as your overall quality of play. Draymond has, he's one of them guys that's in the trenches, so to speak, playing that defensive game. And there were times when he had some critical offense going on to help those Warriors win those championships. But 4 rings beats 2 rings. And 4 rings, and you were certifiably a player that made a difference for your team to win those championships. Got to get an edge to Draymond. Got to get an edge to Draymond, Jamal Green. First off, he's Jamal. You got to give Jamal a break. So Draymond has the edge. 4 rings. Well, that's what you said, 4 rings, and that's all that matters, really, because they always talk about the rings. The rings are everything when it comes to the Hall of Fame. So, Spitface, when I look at Draymond, he is one of the greatest defensive players. He definitely is. He won the Defensive Player of the Year in 2017. He's been on NBA All Defensive Team 2023, 2022, 2021. He's made all NBA team 2017, 2016. So yes, he was the Big Ten Conference Men's Basketball Player of the Year. So he's done it all. He's won awards. And yes, offensively, he may not be the same as Kawhi Leonard, but he does have those 4 rings. He got 2 more than Kawhi, like you said, and that makes a big difference. That makes a difference for him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer because he was instrumental in ensuring that the Warriors won those championships. Because believe it or not, people think it was offensively Stephen Curry, but it wasn't Stephen Curry. It was Draymond. Draymond was the catalyst. The offense always ran through Draymond. People never realize that about the Warriors. The offense ran through Draymond. If you remember when Draymond was out with the suspension, then he got injured. You remember how bad the Warriors looked while Draymond wasn't there? That was the reason why. Because the offense runs through Draymond. Even though he doesn't shoot the ball, he's the facilitator. He's the one that makes their offense flow. So that is the reason why Draymond is a good offensive player, but he's not a scorer. That's the big difference. But, hey, being a good offensive player as far as facilitating the Warriors' offense, you got to give kudos to Draymond. And we can't say anything bad about him defensively because he is the man defensively. So, yes, he will get that shot as the first ballot Hall of Fame, and he just deserves it just as much as Kawhi. So, anyway, it was kind of unfair for us to try to make both of them, pit both of them together. But I say Draymond could get into. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
On the other side of the break, we have another performance from Clark Ford featuring Underground Treehouse on Shout Out Part 2. Please keep your ears glued to those.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
On the second part of shout-out, we are featuring more music from Clark Ford featuring Underground Treehouse. Let's hear the title track of their album, Throwing Our Love Away. Just throwing my love away.
Throwing it all away. Baby, you're lying to me again. Baby, you're lying about where you've been. Don't you know I can't trust the word you say? Yeah, baby, you're throwing our love away. Throwing our love away. You're going out on me, breaking all of the promises you didn't mean. Then you come crawling back to see if I didn't even notice you were gone. You're going out on me, and I've tried to forgive and pretend I didn't see. But there's no going back when you won't even own what you've done. Baby, you're lying to me again. Baby, you're lying about everything. Don't you know I can't trust a word you say? Yeah, baby, you're throwing it all away. Baby, you're lying to me again. Baby, you're lying about where you've been. Don't you know I can't trust a word you say? Yeah, baby, you're throwing our love away. Throwing our love away. I gave you everything I got. I was hot, loved you a lot. Was patient, thoughtful, and kind, like I was taught. Never fought till you got caught. But you got some endless need inside. You keep trying to hide. It's taking you for a ride, taking over your life. I'll never be your wife. It's like you got a big hole in your soul you can fill. A need you keep trying to feed, but you don't need me. Get some therapy. You'll have to find somebody else who doesn't care about herself. But I got too much going on, so it's time that you were gone. Yeah, you'll have to find somebody new who's even more messed up than you. I've got a lot more self-respect than back when we first met. Baby, you're lying to me again. Baby, you're lying about everything. Don't you know I can't trust a word you say? Yeah, baby, you're throwing it all away. Baby, you're lying to me again. Baby, you're lying about where you've been. Don't you know I can't trust a word you say? Yeah, baby, you're throwing our love away, throwing our love away.
All right, that was Throwing Our Love Away. First Lady, what's the verdict?
Oh, I'm shouting it out. I'm telling you, I like the underground Treehouse. I mean, that's the group that's singing. So I definitely enjoyed the young lady's voice. She sounds great. And obviously he's writing those songs for them. So I'm definitely going to shout it out.
Yeah, we got to give a shout out to the songwriter in him. And First Lady, I have to agree with you. Clark Ford got a little something going on. And I likes it. I likes it. So if you like what you heard from Clark Ford, check him out on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
All right. Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
Selection Sunday.
Okay, Selection Sunday. Well, my top story. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was it. Who's in, who's out?
Okay, well, my top story to watch is what we talked about earlier. Who is Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson going to sign with? I mean, there's some strong rumors. I was just picking up some rumors that it might be Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers. I'll see by the end of the day. But anyway, we shall see. All right, this month continues to be Women's History Month. And just want to say kudos and goodbye to Diana Taurasi. She's the WNBA great college professional college basketball, women's basketballer who just recently retired from the WNBA. Taurasi made the all WNBA first team 10 times and was on the first or second team a record 14 times. She's also an 11-time WNBA All-Star, 4-time USA Basketball Female Athlete of the Year, and was the 2004 WNBA Rookie of the Year. Diana Taurasi, she says goodbye to the WNBA and basically goodbye to basketball in general. We're going to miss her. She to me was the Kobe Bryant of the WNBA. That's what Diana Taurasi was, the Kobe Bryant of the WNBA. Check out our current and previous episodes at Bras, Panties and Sports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties and Sports. See you next week.